Yes, let's jump on this thread and talk about the vinyl finds that we find right in our own collections. Let's go! Okay, so this is for Chris Propfe. This was actually quite a timely thread as far as I've even kind of mentioned this idea of finding things at home in a previous video where I have consciously tried to slow down from bringing in things. I know it's been a lot lately because a lot of pre-orders and stuff have come in, but slowing down drastically with the bringing in of new releases, because at some points you get a lot of things in, and sometimes you go to a thrift store and you hit a big haul, which I've done a couple times, where you end up getting 10 or 15 albums, and so it takes time to listen to all those. And so what will happen is you'll listen to one once or twice and you file it away. Then the next batch comes in and you're doing that again. So you do find, if you're moving at that kind of a pace, which I have done for a while, that you don't always give individual albums their due. I know back in the days when we were kids, we would listen to an album to death because we only had one or two new albums a month or every couple weeks or whenever payday was. And so you really had a chance to absorb them. And I find that that's not so much the case now. A lot of things get there, hey, I'm going to spin it once or twice, and then I'm going to file it away, and who knows when I'll get back to it. Now, that's one of the main reasons why, I talked about slowing down, because I'm filing things away in my collection, and as I'm filing them and putting them in the order, I see an album, I'm like, oh man, I forgot about that. That's a great album. And you rediscover, and I started to realize I got a lot of great music. I've already got a lot of great music. I could literally not buy another album for the rest of my life and never exhaust my listening to what I've got. I've got a lot of great music that I thoroughly enjoy, but am I really enjoying it? So, yeah, discovering things in your collection that you haven't discovered in a while is kind of the reason why I really like jumping on threads and or contests. People are like, you do a lot of contests. Yeah, I do. They allow me to reevaluate my collection, look at things that maybe I haven't looked at, and explore into some of the areas that maybe I've ignored for a while. Case in point, I just entered Christian over at CGC Vinyl Guys contest. And I deliberately looked into some of the deeper areas of my collection that I don't always explore. And I found all those albums that I covered in that video. And I literally put them to the side because today I want to listen to these. Because I realized, I don't know when the last time I listened to the Billy Joel or the Letterman or the Citizen Kanes or the Bee Gees. Or, the UK. Some of these bands I have not listened to in a while. I put these to the side. Rather than refiling them after making that video, put them to the side. I want to spin those today. It's been a while. But I went ahead and looked again real quick through my collection to find some directly for this video. And here's what I got. And then I want to show you in a few minutes after briefly running through these, I want to show you one of the ways that I use technology to my advantage in order to find ways to keep up with my records. So let's talk about Rubicon. I bought this a handful of years ago. I was excited to find this at a local flea market type shop. And the reason I bought it, knowing nothing about the band aside from the fact that it's got Jack Blades and Brad Gillis in it, who went later on to be, part of the Night Ranger team. So here we got Jack Blades, glasses and long hair there, and I think, where's Brad Gillis? He's the one with the, there he is, right there above him. So yeah, so this was the pre-Night Ranger stuff, and kind of a classic rock, funk, California band with all kinds of that, it's got all that flair for that, just all kinds of music flavors in there. But yeah, it's kind of a classic rock. It's 70s, classic rock, funky type stuff. Here's what I picked up. I like the band. I don't have enough of their stuff. This is a newer one, but I bought this years ago at Slade. It's not the one I was looking for, which I have found the one I was looking for now, and now I want to go back and get a lot of their other stuff. But I bought this, listened to it once or twice, and filed it away. Probably been a while since I listened to that. Stevie and the Saints. I bought this early on Metal Blue, early on when I was starting to get back into records in 2018. And probably haven't listened to it since, once or twice. A blues-based band. A little more, they are, they're definitely blues-based, boogie blues, stuff along that line. So, And they are of the of a Christian blues nature, so they got a little bit of gospel flair in the lyrics there. Then, not too long after I started buying records again, one of the local music stores, a chain store, FYE, one of the stores, not the whole chain, but one of the local stores was going out of business. And they were marking their whole vinyl record. Everything was marked down. And I went there and, everything was 50% off. And then as another week went by, it was 60% off. And a week went by, 70 as it dwindled down. But I bought this one, I'm thinking it was in the 60 to 70% off. And that's Riot's Immortal Soul. I love Riot. This is the era a little bit later, different vocalists and everything. Great album, but just haven't given it as much time as I do the classic Riot stuff of early days. And then love this band. This is not an album I had back in the day. I had their first album, played it all the time, and I never did get their second, third, fourth album, and that's Kick-Axe. So I do have this, and it's a great album. I just haven't listened to it in a while. But okay. Let me show you, though. I use Discogs, and I know a lot of people do, a lot of people don't. And a lot of people don't have everything on there. I do. Back when I first started, shortly after buying records, I thought, let's use Discogs. And so I started putting things on there. And then I eventually went back and put all my CDs on there. So I think probably 95% of my music collection in-house is probably on there. So let me show you real quick. I'm going to bounce over and share with you Discogs. And I want to show you how I tend to be able to view my collection so that I can see what I might be missing without, really missing stuff. So let's get into this. Okay, so I have everything on here, like I said, and right now you're looking at just I have my collection broken down into various breakdowns of shelves and stuff that I have. So, and then you can sort these based on the newest edition. So here is the most recent album I got. This just came in yesterday. It's one of those Dream Theater things, and then Death, and these are some of the things I haven't shown. I did show the Sabotage. Anyway, so when I'm looking at this, it shows the order that they were received in. And I can go down here and jump to the very last page, and I can see the very first album I put into my collection was the picture disc version of Stack Attack by Rothschild, another picture disc of theirs. And then it's interesting, I guess for some reason, this was one of the early vinyl releases I got when I first started buying records, was Iron Maiden. So you can see, this is the oldest stuff I've entered, which means it's the oldest stuff in my collection, which can equate to oldest stuff that I haven't listened to in a while. But, so I can go through here graphically and say, look at my album collection, and I can add more, whatever. But you get to pages like this, and I can just, in an overview, I can see album covers, and I haven't listened to that in a long time. So that's one of the ways that I will go through and try to keep up visually with my collection, is to go through and you can do it from, you can sort them by band, but I always sort them from newest to oldest, because then I can tell these were the ones that I entered in long ago, and that may be a way to keep an eye on which ones I haven't listened to in a while, is the ones that I've owned the longest. And I love the graphical interface where you can go through here and say, well, what do I got? And I'll go through and flip and look at that and say, wow, I've got a lot of great stuff that I haven't listened to. So, but yeah, so there you go. In a nutshell, that's how I use technology or Discogs to check on how I'm collecting and to look at how I haven't listened to something in a long time. That's it. Great thread, Chris. And yes, I have recently been trying to go through and discover or rediscover things that I've already owned, things that I maybe have given a cursory glance to once or twice and filed away. Anyway, that's all for now. I do thank you for watching, and I will be back with a new stuff that I didn't show yet that has come in the past couple of days, and I will see you later. Rock on and rock hard.